Thank you very much. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah. I think some haven't joined yet, about 4 or 3.
I believe so.
Right? Yeah.
Maher, Abdullah, Malik.
I see Saud, I see Muhammad, I see Ali is connected.
Iyad.
Somebody else is connecting. I don't know who exactly.
It's Iyad.
Yeah. So we still have Malik.
Malik, Abdullah, and Maher.
Yeah. What about Badr? Does Badr join every?
Yes, and he joined. Yes, he
Badr
joined.
has joined. Yeah.
Yeah, Badr joins. It's just that I don't know. He's always quiet.
Good.
He only speaks when he wants to fool around.
How are you, Ali? Alaikum assalam. Check the audios and everything in your laptop if you are joining from the PC or even from the mobile phone. Check everything before you discover while the
Sir,
meeting.
is my audio?
Yeah,
Is
mashallah.
my audio clear? Okay.
Mashallah, yeah, very clear. Of the clearest, mashallah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Ali and Badr have.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. How are you? Yes.
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you, Mr.?
Alhamdulillah, fine. Ready, guys?
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Prepare your books until the others join. Prepare your books because I'd like to check with you page number 115. 115
Yeah.
was given to you as homework, right? I will check it.
Yeah, I believe I did it during. I did it during the lesson. Yes.
Yes,
Good.
me too.
Anyway, I will have a check on page number 115 before I
did
page 116, right?
I have done it.
115, not 16.
Yeah. We will start together page 116, but I'd like to go over page 115 quickly to check that you understand the previous lesson. You know that the strategy of the school in general, as I told you at the beginning of the year, that we study for a lifetime. Badr and Ali, why are you
So I'm done with page 115 actually.
Yeah,
Mister,
I know.
When I click space, it makes unmute.
But I will check that with you quickly. Okay, until the others join, I'd like to hear from Iyad. You hear me, Iyad? Malik is here.
Yeah, I can.
Malik?
I'm done, Mister, with page 115.
Okay, good. I'd like to hear the answer of question number exercise 1 on page 115 from Iyad. Just to go over it quickly before we start with page 116. Iyad, say the answers of the 4 items of question number 1 on page 115.
Okay. Number 1 is traditional economy. Number 2, market economy. Yeah. Number 3, common economy. Number 4, mixed economy.
Okay, so number 1, traditional. Number 2. What about number 2?
Market economy.
Thank you. Number 3?
Common economy.
Thank you. Number 4?
Mixed economy.
Good. Muhammad, can you answer your question?
I believe Mr. Omar Yusuf said you should write traditional / subsistence economy.
Okay.
He told us to write that.
Yeah. Subsistence is coming in the new lessons that we'll have together. The word subsistence is a word that you can.
Like traditional.
Guys, in general, the word subsistence.
It's a synonym of traditional.
Yes, but also it has another connotation. It has another connotation. The connotation that it has, plus the word traditional, that subsistence means basic or primary. Remember that, because this will help you in the new lesson. You understand? This will help us in the new lesson. Subsistence means plus traditional, that it is primary or basic, right? Remember this until we come to it, inshallah, in the lesson to come now on page, starting on page number 116. Muhammad, answer question number 2, exercise 2, on page 115.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. Let me just read out the question first, and then I'll write it. Say the answer.
Okay.
The economic system.
The
in our
economic.
world.
Guys, when it's
The
a noun, when it's a noun, we say economy. When it's an adjective, we say economic. So the stress moves from the ka to the ka. We say economy, stress is in ka when it's a noun. But when it is an adjective, we say economic. Notice the shift of the stress from ka to na. All right? There's a difference between them. Economy and economic. Economy and economic. Can you say them, please? One by one.
Economy and economic.
Bravo.
Economy.
Yes.
Economy and economic.
Bravo, yeah. Saud.
Economy and economic.
Bravo, Ali. Ali's disabled the audio. Badr, Ali, and Malik, be careful. Your audio is disabled.
Economy and economic.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
The
Economy and economic.
Good.
The economic systems in our world rotate around 3 basic concepts. Name them. Number 1, the number of kinds of goods and services to be produced. Number 2, how the products will be produced. And number 3, the distribution of the products and the income gained from them.
Bravo. Who can give me a synonym of the word income? A word beginning with E. R-E.
Revenue.
Bravo. Thank you, Malik. Revenue. R-E-V-E-N-U-E. Have you seen this word before, guys?
No.
Revenue.
Yes,
revenue,
I have.
yes, I know revenue.
Good. If you have a note, if you have a notebook beside you, you can write it. Revenue,
What
or
is the
sometimes say
spelling of it,
revenue.
mister?
Yes, British
Instead of
people say
economy?
revenue.
Instead of economy?
No, the word revenue, which Malik said, is a synonym of the word income, which means the money that comes back to you after spending on a
What's
business.
the spelling?
R-E-V-E-N-U-E. Thank you for sharing the word with us. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Maher, how are you?
Good, alhamdulillah.
Good, alhamdulillah. You have changed the profile photo from the planes into a moon?
Yes, mister. I took it myself.
Okay.
Wallahi, I took it myself.
So you changed from the
What is
industry
it?
of airplanes to the industry of space.
Revenue?
Yeah, the word revenue. Maher,
It is.
the word revenue or revenue, British say revenue.
How I
And
spell
Americans
it?
say revenue. This is a synonym of the word income, which means the money that comes back to you after you spend on a business. When money comes back to you as a sort of surplus or income or like gain, you gain money. This is called revenue. Revenue, right? Malik said it revenue because he's American. If some British person would say it to us, he would say revenue. Revenue, the same word, right?
How I spell it, mister?
R-E-V-E.
Yeah.
Mister, if you enable the chat, you could write him the spelling.
Yeah, okay. So I write for you the word in the chat.
I think that would have been better.
Yeah.
Because what if you lag in the middle and then he would think that you didn't say that extra letter and you would write it just like what he heard.
Is it page 116?
You see it, guys? Do you see it in the chat?
No, 115.
Revenue appeared?
Yes.
It has appeared or not?
Yeah, it has.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, this is the word. Question number 3. So can you answer question 3? Page number 115, everybody. We're reviewing page 115 before we start page 116 together. Saud is answering. Read it.
Okay. Exercise 3. Cross out the item that doesn't belong. Capitalism. The, the means of production are privately owned, or supply, demand, price, and distribution are determined by individuals,
Yes.
or the government interferes in all decisions.
Yeah.
The item that will cross out is the last one. The government
Bravo.
interferes in all
Because,
decisions.
yes, because the last one actually belongs to what? To socialism, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The last item of exercise 3, which is the government interferes in all decisions. This belongs to socialism, not to capitalism. So we cross from capitalism. Has Mr. Omar or drawn your attention to the error, the typo in the second part of question 3, which is in socialism? How did you answer? I'd like to know, how did you answer social? What you crossed out? Because you should cross an item that has an error. Without correcting that error, you would not know that it is the one to cross. How did you answer it? Malik, can you answer this question? Social, what is the one that doesn't belong?
Mr. My book, my social studies book, was with Mr. Omar Yusuf. He took it before the school ended, and I haven't gotten it back.
Oh my God! But how can we follow? How can you follow now?
I don't know, but he took it before the school temporarily ended, and
okay,
and he hasn't given.
All right, we will find a solution to that. Anyway,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, maybe I can look for the PDF online.
Yeah, you can, as you like. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. He can maybe find the PDF and print it.
Yeah. It's still with Mr. Omar Yusuf. If you can contact him and get it from him, it would be great. Or if you.
But I believe the PDFs show the answers.
It shows the answers. Maybe two versions. Maybe two versions.
During the science exam, Mr. Fahad, our science teacher, he would tell us to look for the answers of the homeworks on the PDF.
No, but one time I was like, last year I lost my math book at some stage.
Last year.
Anyway,
yeah.
We can find some solution for that, whether the electronic one, as Malik suggested, or that he gets it from Mr. Omar, or even photocopying it from any of you. No problem, inshallah. Okay. So now, socialism. Ali, can you share the answer of the second part of exercise 3, socialism?
The first one.
The first one. Is he right, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
It is socialism. It is a theory based on public or common ownership.
That is for capitalism, sir.
It belongs or doesn't belong to socialism. It is a theory based on public or common ownership.
That is not based on socialism. That is based on capitalism.
No, socialism actually is based on public or common ownership. So it belongs. This one belongs. The answer actually is the second bullet, but after you delete the word "not." This is a typo in the book that I said to you. Be careful of it. There is a typo here. Typo means an error of from the company or the publisher. Before you answer,
or maybe from yourself sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes from the writer. Yeah, Muhammad is right. Sometimes it's from the writer of the book, because he's a human being. He can make mistakes. Anyway, whether it's from the writer of the book or from the printing house or the publisher, we don't care. But the answer of this is the bullet point number 2. But after you delete the word "not," you see the word "not." The individuals are not in charge of services and products which are demanded and consumed by the market. First, delete the word "not." Okay? Because
Okay.
everybody's concentrating with me.
Yes.
Yes.
If we
Yes.
keep the word not,
Yes.
if we keep the word not, the three options will belong. The three options will belong to socialism. Number one, it is a theory based on public or common ownership. This is socialism, not capitalism. Capitalism, things are owned
That's
by
the one I
individuals.
crossed though. That's the one I crossed though. And the mister said correct.
No, no, no. It is not correct. Maybe he was confused or he didn't notice the typo. So the first one is belonging to socialism. How can we cross it out? Because socialism depends on public and common ownership. Everything is owned by the government. Everything is commonly and publicly owned by the government. This is socialism. You understand, guys? Socialism is...
It is the second one, I think. Socialism is the second one, right?
Socialism has all the items belonging to it except the second one. But after you delete the word not, because if you don't delete the word not in the second bullet, it will also belong to socialism. So this question will not be answered. If you don't delete the word not, this question will not be answered. No one can answer it because all of them belong to socialism. So delete the word.
So capitalism, so Mr. Capitalism does not belong to the government, and socialism that belongs to the government.
Bravo, thank you. If everything is commonly owned and publicly owned by the government, this is socialism. That's why I say number one is belonging to socialism. You cannot cross it out. You cannot cross it out. The last one, the government usually dominates over public services such as health, communications. This is actually synonymous to number one. Haven't you noticed that? Haven't you noticed? The last,
like against.
Yes.
The last is another wording of number one. So the first one and the last one are the same idea, but different wording.
So the different one from them are.
So like, if you cross the first one, you have to cross the last one. Is that what you're trying to say?
Thank you, Mohammed. This is evidence that crossing out the first one is wrong. You cannot cross it out because if you cross the first one, you have to cross the last two because it's the same word. It's different wording, but the same thing. Read them again with me. The first one says what? It is a theory
based on public or common
ownership, which means that the government owns everything. Okay, read the last. The government usually dominates over public services such as health, communications, banking, transportation, and other similar fields. Of course, you didn't notice that when you crossed out number one, that they are synonymous. Yeah. So they cannot be crossed out. The only one that can be crossed out is the middle, but after deleting which word?
Not.
Thank you. Don't keep it. Because if you kept it, the question will be unanswerable. If you kept the word not, the question will be unanswerable, will not be answered, because it will even belong to socialism too, like the other.
So we delete the not in the second question of socialism.
Yes. And cross it out. So it will read like this. The individuals are in charge of so many services and products
which are
consumed by the market.
And consumed by the market.
Have you noticed it? Now this is how to cross out. So two steps. That's why I reviewed with you this page, because I wanted to explain this part to you, but gradually, as I did, without shocking you that something is wrong. But notice that.
Actually.
So I told you before, guys, when you treat with books, notice that sometimes they have errors. Don't take them as Holy Quran or as scriptures that haven't been forged. No, you can't take a book like that, because it might have an error. If you understand the topic of the lesson very well, you can notice the error, as we did now.
I was confused. Thank you, Mr. Because I was confused, about capitalism and socialism. I was confused about them a little bit.
Exactly, because if you answer this question wrong, you will be more confused. If we say that the first one to be crossed out, how can we say that while we know that socialism is based on the idea of public and property, which is owned by the government? This is socialism. What is the best example of socialism in the world? I don't mean best that I agree with socialism, no. But
hospital.
North Korea.
Yeah, and also Cuba. You know Cuba? It's a neighbor of
Cuba.
Cuba, yeah.
Cuba.
In Caribbean.
Exactly, bravo. In the Caribbean area or Caribbean area. So Cuba is socialist country. Everything there is owned publicly by the government. But America is a capitalist country.
Capitalist.
Yes, the United States is capitalist. So imagine now America as an example. Can we say that the government has control over everything in America?
No.
You'd be slapped for it if you said that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
mister.
Okay,
Mister.
in Cuba, can we say that, can we cross out the first one with Cuba? If I say it's a theory based on public or common ownership, can we cross it out with Cuba?
No.
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 Because, yes, but thank you, because we cannot cross it out, because the real case in Cuba is that everything is owned by the government. Everything. Individual that if you are an individual that has a big property, the government will take it from you and own it. This idea originated in Russia, but it failed in Russia, and it continued in other countries. It continued in other countries, Cuba, and, North Korea, and so on. That's why you notice that the socialist countries are enemies of the United States. You notice that?
Mister, I have a question.
Yes.
If like a capitalist country like America, like what like makes the country like become like a capitalist country in the first place? Like, you know, you have to like Cuba, you know, it's a socialist country.
Yeah.
So like everything is owned to the government.
Yes.
What makes in like America like a capitalist country? How can the government like still support these things as well, but like not fully own them?
Yeah.
It's because they're not the ones taking care of it.
Yeah, thank you. Good question. Capitalist countries such as the United States supervise and give laws that organize how the work will be done, but they don't own the businesses. You understand that?
Okay. Yes.
For example,
which means that they don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. For example, Trump. You know that Trump was a very rich businessman before he became the president.
Yeah. I think he did gambling. Gambling was his business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And beauty houses and things like that. Anyway, Trump was a very rich person, having his own property before even being a political person or a politician or a president, right?
Yes.
This example of Trump, you cannot find in Cuba or North Korea. Have you got it?
Yes.
Because all people that have property, this property is taken from them by force and given to the government, which is not fair sometimes. You know, so it doesn't mean that I support the United States as a country, but it means that I support capitalism as a concept over socialism. Understand that?
Yes.
Because socialism.
Because socialism increases the percentage of a nation to become poor and run out of money and become bankrupt.
Exactly. So in a socialist country, you cannot dream to be a millionaire. You cannot even have the dream, because whenever your wealth is becoming bigger, it's under the risk that the country or the government will take it from you and become a public ownership. You understand that?
Yes. But sir, about Donald Trump before he became president, he was as I said, one of his like big businesses was gambling, because he was a high roller. A high roller is someone who like gambles a lot.
This is not because of capitalism itself. This is because of the ethics of the country. You know that America is not an Islamic country in general, right?
Yeah,
yes,
I know, but what I'm trying to say
Muslims,
here is
but
like,
it's not an Islamic country. So they are allowed in America to be involved in businesses that are not matching the laws of Islam. You know that?
yes, of course, but what I'm trying to say here is that I heard that like Donald Trump, the reason why he had like 2 other wives before his now wife was because that he paid a lot of money for prostitutes.
Many things like that, yes, are said, but it's not the topic of ethics that we are discussing that. But I agree with your point. I understand what you're saying, Mohammed. But it's
but the moral of what I'm trying to say is that like I feel like money capitalism can cause corruption if it's used too much.
If it is not under Islamic law. Yes, I agree with you. If capitalism is not under Islamic law, but if capitalism is under Islamic law, it is a good thing. It is a good thing. You know, like for example, in Saudi Arabia, do you think that Saudi Arabia is a socialist country?
No.
No, it's a capitalist.
No.
Thank you. Exactly, but alhamdulillah, Saudi Arabia does not have the corruption that is in the United States or in the Western countries. Why? Because the general law of Saudi Arabia is Islamic. Understand that?
Yeah.
So it gives opportunity to people to have wealth. It gives opportunity to people to have their own companies. It gives opportunity to people to keep their money, and it's not taken from them by force. But at the same time, there are regulations. There are rules that this money should be clean, should be clear of any suspicion, and should be following the Islamic law in expenditure and in revenue. In expenditure and in revenue, right?
Yes.
You got the idea?
Yes, I have.
All right. Thank you, guys. So now we're done with page number 115, and you noticed the error on the last question. Everyone has corrected it?
Yes.
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 Okay. Start with me, page number 116. Ready?
Yes.
Types of economic activities. Lesson 2. You see it? Badr.
Yes.
Can you describe the pictures? What do you see? What do you see in the pictures?
I see transformation. Thanks to
Transportation.
You mean transportation, right?
Transportation, yes.
Different means, right?
Yes.
Good.
Like train, airplane, bus, and cars.
Yeah. Ali, can you read the caption with the pictures?
What?
Can you read the caption with the pictures? Use the field of transportation.
The fields of transportation presented affect the economy of a country who arrange their circulations and pays for their expenses.
Yeah. Malik, do you see the pictures? If I put them like that?
Yes.
You see them? Because
Yes.
you don't have the book. Okay. Some pictures of transportation means. You see?
Yeah, I can see.
Can you describe what you see?
The first one is a train. The one under it is a bus, and then there's a plane and some cars.
Thank you very much. Do you think that this affects the economy of the country or the types of these transportation means?
The economy.
Do you think that the different types of transportation means and and how developed they are affect the economy of a country?
They could.
In what way? Can you explain?
Trying to think.
Okay, who has something to share, guys?
Yes, I could if you want me to.
Okay.
So as you asked, do you think that these transportation affect the economy? In a
Yeah.
good way, yes, but also in a bad way. The reason why I say this is because in a good way that there are more electric transportation that are being developed. For example, you see this train that you see. This is the electric train. That's like an improvement, and of course more people are buying electric cars and more companies are developing electric cars. But the bad thing in economy is that most of the vehicles nowadays like releases smoke and carbon dioxide, which is bad for the environment, which affected neighborhoods and affected districts, especially in the United States of America.
Yes,
I
excellent.
want to add
Thank you.
something for Muhammad's speech. And even the carbon dioxide is harming the ozone layer, I think.
Yes. That's
yes, yeah, correct. Thank you very much. Excellent. If a country has a good system of transportation, its economy is expected to be larger and bigger. And if a country has a poor system and a weak system of transportation, the economy is expected to be weak and smaller. Why? Because transportation systems, when they are developed, they save time and make business encouraged. If you're a businessman that would like to invest your money in a country, the first thing you see, two things. Number one, transportation systems. Number two, the web of roads. You know the web of roads? We call it the road web. How the country cities are connected together with a good web of roads.
Mister, can I
Yes.
tell you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I say? Yeah. If you look at China's like web of roads, it looks very weird from the Google Maps. If you look at it, you can see like cities. Each city is connected to another city by like 6 motorways.
Excellent. See, so in Europe, in China, and in Europe, and also in the United States, but especially Europe, Europe has the most sophisticated road web in the world. If you would like to check that on Google Map after the lesson, you can do that. Go and check roads.
You can check it now.
Yeah, or now as you like. Yes.
On the share screen.
Yes. For example.
There isn't that much time, sir. There's only 8 minutes left until our first break.
It said on the.
You can share it after the break, right? You can share it after the break.
Mister, I think you made the time unlimited because I got a message on my.
Yes.
Yes, you said you paid for the fees to make it unlimited or something.
No problem. After the break, you can share it, or even you can check it alone, because it doesn't have a real value to see it right now, but you can see it later. No problem. You will find Europe having the most sophisticated road web on the map. That's why it has a very big civilization because of this. Anyway, of course, big investment companies, especially for cars in Germany and so on. Anyway.
Yeah, in Germany they made Volkswagen and yeah.
Yeah. German cars are very famous.
Yes, Mercedes and Audi and.
Exactly, because
Volkswagen.
Yeah, Germany wouldn't have reached that fame in motor industry without having a very big civilized road web around the country that makes it connected to all the countries around. Okay, now Muhammad, can you read the paragraph under the pictures on page 116?
Yes, sir. Okay. People all around the world wake up to their daily routine activities such as going to work, school, factories, or even farms and fields. They do not think about how and who organizes their life when it comes to things like transportation, electricity, water supply, and many others. These activities are some of the many different economic activities that help make life in in any city easier or more acceptable. Yet,
Guys,
these
from the
activities
word
are
yet, guys, concentrate with Muhammad from the word yet, because this is summarizing the whole main point of the lesson. How many types of economic activities? Remember this question in mind, because this is the main question of the lesson. How many types of economic activities do we have? Muhammad, read and concentrate, guys, because I will ask you how many after he reads till the end of this of the page.
Okay. Yet these activities are categorized into 4 groups.
How many?
Primary.
How many, everybody?
Primary. 4 groups.
4 groups. Number 1. Primary.
Primary.
2.
Secondary.
Secondary.
Tertiary.
3. Tertiary.
Quaternary.
Quaternary. Notice that
Mister, I know these. I know these.
Good.
Usually, when you're
Primary from the word prime, which means main. Primary from the word prime, which means main, which is number 1. Primary.
Yes.
Secondary from the word second, which means lower. Number 3. Tertiary. Tertiary or tertiary. British people say tertiary, and American people would say tertiary or tertiary also in different states. So tertiary and quaternary. Quaternary, category number 4. You will notice that they begin from 1 to 4, right? Right, guys?
Yes.
Before this meeting ends, because it's about to end, be careful. I'd like to say a final sentence, and then inshallah continue at 10:20 exactly. The final sentence is that these 4 begin from down to up, which means the more you go up, the more it is developed. So primary is the basic, but the most primitive. You know primitive? That is done by people, nomads and poor people, things like that,
Yeah.
right? Secondary, higher. Tertiary, higher. Quaternary, the highest in level. The highest in level. We'll notice that inshallah.
So from primary, so
But
from
Mister,
primary to
usually they would
quaternary.
Mister, I learned these 4 in when like we're talking about colors, and not just colors, like when we're talking about discussing the colors of like a suit or something. It would be like the primary color would be red, and then for example secondary color would be yellow, and it showed that the primary
This is in colors. But now we speak about what?
The primary color expands more than the secondary color.
Exactly. Remember, but now we speak about what types of?
About
economic activities. I will give you one example of each, then continue after the break, inshallah. At 10.
Mister.
So, yes, Maher?
Are the quaternary, are they run by like the most, like the high people in the country, like the government or entrepreneurs?
The government, it can be the government work, education, like teachers and students, also because it's very sophisticated and needs a lot of information. Anything related to information or to high level of technology is quaternary.
Okay.
Okay, let's have one example of each. Farming is under which one? Farming.
Primary.
Oh, it's on primary.
Primary. Making jam from strawberry, under which one?
Primary.
But
secondary.
Farming is making a lot of money.
Farming is primary because anyone can do it, even a Bedouin, even a nomad, right? This farming.
Mister, you're using the wrong example. Bedouins are known for making farming.
I mean,
Mashallah.
If a person lives in desert and then is given in an oasis, a land that is good for farming, can he farm or not?
Yeah.
You understand that?
Yes, you can.
It doesn't need internet. It doesn't need technology. It need transportation. Farming is easy. All right.
But like if they're not in an oasis, they would make a ranch. They would
exactly.
Graze.
I mean something basic. Something basic is farming, right?
Yes.
So farming is primary. If some industry depends on raw materials to make things and sell them with higher prices, this is secondary because they depend on the.
Okay.
So a farmer who is a primary category gives supply to whom? To the secondary.
To the government.
Like the jam maker. Jam, you know jam made of strawberry?
Yeah.
The strawberry is farmed or is planted by the farmer. This is primary. But when the strawberry is made into jam to be sold as a new product, which is called the jam in a jam jar, this is called what? Secondary. This is secondary business. What about tertiary? Like engineers, workers, painters,
Middle class.
doctors, most of the middle class were people that work to serve the society. This is tertiary. Notice that they are higher than the
Like the
primary and
normal jobs
secondary.
that people work.
Yeah. Notice that they are higher, right? Higher than all of these are the quaternary.
Quaternary.
Universities. If somebody is a university professor and at the same time,
Manufacturers.
yeah, if somebody is a university professor and at the same time a doctor, he has two categories. If you consider him a doctor only, he is in the tertiary. But if you consider him a professor in the university teaching medicine, is what?
Quaternary.
Quaternary and
higher.
tertiary.
Yes, this is higher. That's why people prefer to go and check with doctors that teach in the university. I think Dr. Maher's father, Dr.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you consider, he's a professor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so
next year he's gonna get the rank professor, but he still teaches though.
But he's teaching in the university, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good example. If we consider him as an instructor, a person that teaches medicine in the university, he's under which category?
Quaternary.
Quaternary, which is the highest, because now we speak about education. Also teachers even in schools, even if he's teaching kindergarten, KG, is still in the quaternary because it's information, technology, internet, education related to the mind. Any work related to the mind is quaternary. If you go under that, it's tertiary. Tertiary like what? Tertiary like workers, engineers, all services of the. By the way, the biggest category of the four is the tertiary. We'll see that now in the lesson, inshallah, after the break. Right? Tertiary is the big category. Most of the people in a society go under tertiary. Of course, primary and secondary, very few people can fall under this category. Anyway, we'll see that inshallah after the break. Okay, would you?
Thank you, sir.
Meet again, inshallah.
Yes.
Break for 10 minutes.
10:22.
10:22. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, sir.
All right.